For the arrival of the Governor, Mr. Kretser, and the members of the official party. Thank you.
Shorten, Parliamentary Secretary for Victorian Bushfire Reconstruction, Nixon, Chair of the Victorian Bushfire Reconstruction and Recovery Authority, CEO of the Victorian Bushfire Reconstruction and Recovery Authority. Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I'd like to begin today by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we stand, peculiar nations, and pay my respects to the elders past and present. Jan and I are delighted to welcome you all here today at the Government House this afternoon for a function to thank all of you for the fantastic effort that you've undertaken to help those who have suffered so much in the bushfires earlier this year. We also appreciate that many of you have travelled a long way to be here this afternoon, and so I hope that this event will give you an opportunity to have a look around Government House, to meet each other, and also to hopefully enjoy some extra day of golden and relax. Immediately, clearly after the bushfires, 30 community recovery committees were set up to coordinate recovery and rebuilding efforts at a local level. The first-hand knowledge and experience of you through these committees brought to the recovery effort was and still remains invaluable. I'm sure the Premier will agree that Spring Street is indeed far removed from places such as Toolangi, and the efforts of the community recovery committees will have assisted those who have been in need at a local level. Jan and I had the opportunity to visit the Mary's little temporary village just 2 weeks ago, and it has come a long way since its opening in May this year, and it's greatly assisted those in the Mary's area in rebuilding their community. The tremendous community spirit was very apparent, especially when over 3,000 people joined the Marysville Marathon just 2 weeks ago. Slowly, the resilience of our communities are overcoming the devastation and depression emanating from the bushfires as they work to rebuild a normal life for themselves and their community. In closing, again, I'd like to wish you all involved and thank you all for the fine work performed in the service of the State of Victoria, and also those who obviously had a very bad year in 2009. And it's my pleasure now to invite the Premier to speak.
Thank you very much to the Governor of Victoria, Professor David Kretser and Mrs. Kretser, to Bill Shorten, the Parliamentary Secretary for Bushfire Reconstruction, to Nixon, to the mayors and council CEOs who are here today, to most importantly the members of the community recovery committees, the student staff of the Reconstruction Authority, the Department of Human Services, and ladies and gentlemen. Could I begin too today by acknowledging the traditional owners of the land on which we are gathered and pay my respects to their elders, past and present. And could I thank the Governor, Mr. Kretser, so much for making Government House available today for what is such a special occasion. And the Governor has been a great supporter, I think, of those communities which are affected by the fires, a very regular visitor, and certainly, as he said, we were there for the marathon just a couple of weeks ago in Marysville on what was a very warm day. It is my pleasure today to be here to recognise the contribution of the community recovery committees to the bushfire recovery and reconstruction effort. And I was asked at the media conference just a little bit earlier today about the purpose of today's gathering, and it's very simple. It's to thank all of the community recovery committees, the 30 of them, extraordinary effort and their extraordinary contribution that they've made to their communities, to their regions and to the state as a whole. And so today is about thanking them for what's been an extraordinary effort. 9 months after the devastation of February 7th, I think we're beginning to see those signs of regeneration across the state. We're certainly seeing the regeneration of the scarred landscape. We're witnessing strong communities that are beginning to heal. And I think each day we see local businesses move closer to their goal of getting back on their feet. And it's really the ongoing work of the 30 community recovery committees that's helping to drive and to shape this process of regeneration. Suffering the enormous losses across our state is a new group of community leaders who have stepped up to ensure that the recovery and the rebuilding process meets the specific needs of your towns and regions. And I think it's fair to say that before you as a government, federal and state, after the fires have simply marched in, rolled out one-size-fits-all approaches to reconstruction and recovery. It's fair to say we've done that. The rebuilding process may have been a little bit quicker. But even in just the first few days after Black Saturday, it was made very clear to me in all of the places that I visited, and whether it was in Castella, whether it was Toolangi, whether it was King Lake, whether it was Marysville, that the recovery process should be community-led. That was the view that was put very strongly to me and very strongly to Christine after her appointment. And you know, I think, and I know, that the extensive consultation, the sharing of thoughts and ideas that has happened through the CRCs will lead to a better outcome for each community. I think as a result of it, we'll see more co-location of services where the community wanted those services to be co-located. We're going to see better public facilities that are built where the community identified a need for an improvement. And we're also going to see in some places amenities relocated to better, more convenient sites where communities identified this possibility. And all in we'll get a much, much better outcome through this process. And together I think we're not simply replacing buildings and services. We're not just doing that, we're doing that and trying to provide something better. So I want to say to all of the CRC members here today and to all of the councils that have been involved, I believe that you can be very, very proud of the leadership that you've shown during what's been an extremely difficult process. I want to thank you for the hours of hard work that you've undertaken within your communities and on behalf of your communities. And I think you can also be proud of the $193 million Rebuilding Together plan, which sets out what is, as you know, a huge work program across all of these areas for the next 18 months to 2 years. And it's that work too, which is going to re-establish the facilities and the services that all of your towns need to survive and thrive. Today, I don't want to single out any individual CRCs for particular thanks. I did want to thank the federal government, the Prime Minister and Bill Shorten, of course, the Parliamentary Secretary, who's with us today. I also for working so closely with us. I want to thank the various agencies and the bushfire affected communities, all of whom have worked with you to try and get these communities back on their feet. I also want to thank VBRRA for its ongoing work and of course for VBRRA's chair, Christine Nixon, for her steady, strong and compassionate leadership. And finally today, if I could just go back to where I began, I want to reiterate the commitment of our government to work with you, to work with VBRRA, to work with all of the agencies to support your communities and to get on and to keep on with this important rebuilding task. Thank you again for your extraordinary efforts on behalf of your community and your state, and it's now my pleasure to invite the Federal Parliamentary Secretary, Shorten, who's representing the Prime Minister here today, to say a few words.